GM CEO Mary Barra, and this time the Senate took a harsher tone with her. Here to weigh in is car expert, my favorite car expert, Lauren Fix. Lauren, welcome back to the show. So I want to start with what some of these senators said to her today. They were tough. Listen to this.
Have there been any other instances where GM actually is changing a part and fixing a defect and keeps the part number the same? This is criminal deception.
Is that Cobalt car, as driven now, safe for your daughters to drive?
The other thing that we now know, that it would only cost $2 to repair. And it was apparently $2 too much for General Motors to act, despite a decade of warnings.
You're a really important person to this company. Something is very strange that such a top employee would know nothing.
Red hot stuff. And, you know, I look at these comments, and I've been critical of GM, very critical. There are a lot of people, though, to point a finger at here, Lauren. What do you say?
I think there's more than one person. I know that poor Mary is taking the full brunt of it all, and yesterday was heated, but this is much more intense today. They did have a point, though, about not changing the part numbers, and these are procedures that were in place before Mary was a CEO. However, she was in quality control, she was in supply chain,
right.
So I'm saying she is the person, but she was part of a larger team that was obviously insulating what the truth was going on from the CEO. However, until we get Rick Wagner on the stands, who, as you'll probably hear, will not say anything, and if he does, what is he going to say? I don't know. As a CEO, they're not going to tell me about every little problem. But I think we need to look at Delphi as well.
Delphi, NHTSA. What about where the heck is, you know,
Absolutely.
Why are we calling all over the government agency that's supposed to be regulating this stuff and, frankly, got reports all along the way?
I agree with you. That is absolutely, a couple of weeks ago, I called it NHTSA-gate, and you called it GM-gate. But the reason I call it NHTSA-gate is, all right, GM screwed up. They've got to sort out their procedures and problems in quality control. And Delphi screwed up by supplying a part that didn't meet QS 9000 quality control ratings, which have been in place since 1995. However, NHTSA didn't catch it. Why didn't they catch it? Did they know this was in place? Did they give Rick Wagner a check for $10 million and say, here's your severance pay and disappear, please? And he literally has not been seen by anyone, which says to me there's a lot of people that know a lot more than we're being told.
It is a tragedy on so many levels, and we had victims' families on yesterday. Just tragic. So many people to point the finger at. Quickly, Mary Barra, how did she fare today? Is she holding up GM's legacy? Is she speaking well for the company?
I think she is, considering the situation that she's only been in the position for 3 months, and they're asking her to tell them information that she hasn't even received until just a few weeks ago. There's 286,000 pages of content, and you know, I'm sure she's got lawyers looking at it and guiding her on what to say. You can't say this, and at the other end, you've got senators coming at her full force. Right. I mean, I think they're going to have to bring some more executives in. There's a lot more investigation, but making her the only person at fault, I don't believe is the answer. I think there's a lot of people at fault, and what I'd love to see happen is everybody put $1 billion into a victims fund, and that way there's money for those people who have lost family members and for those people that have had accidents and potentially blamed them.
Yeah, it's another debate. Lauren, thank you for being with us tonight. Appreciate your comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And, well, you know, it's not just GM having to deal with recalls these days. Chrysler recalling nearly 870,000 SUVs because corrosion may impact the brakes. The two models, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Dodge Durango, fall from 2011 through 2014. Chrysler says it knows of one accident but no injuries as a result of the defect. The company has since changed the design to make the brakes more corrosion resistant. And here's hoping that's the last recall we hear of for some time to come. And coming up later in the show, a new book is calling the